Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Paul Cecil on the line. He's VP of Strategy over at reAlpha. Paul, welcome to the show.
Hey, Adam, thanks for having me. Really appreciate being on here.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about today, so definitely want to get into what you're doing over at reAlpha. But before we do that, let's get into your background a little bit. So tell me a little bit more about how you got into business and really into finance.
Yeah, sure. So actually, I was in college, back in college, I was a pre-med student and I figured out really quickly that I liked trading stocks a lot more than I liked studying for chemistry. So my stint in science did not last very long. So by my sophomore year of college, I was fully moved on to business and did not look back. And so that's kind of where the initial interest came from, and got involved with the right clubs and the right people, and had a little stint in private equity. I was basically the only employee for a capital fund that was starting in private equity and real estate, and then had a couple of interesting deals happen there, but then eventually found reAlpha, and I've been here for the last 4 years now.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. What drew you to reAlpha? Talk to me about the company.
Yeah, reAlpha was an entirely different business model when I joined. I joined as employee number 10, and I really liked the mission that they were setting off to accomplish. In long and short terms, the mission has always been about kind of different ways to address the affordability crisis of housing. Early on, it was investing, and now it's more so on the buy side. But I really enjoyed the mission, and I saw kind of definitely the upside potential with joining an early stage startup very quickly. But really, at the end of the day, with a startup, you're betting on the leadership team. Because typically you go through several pivots before you arrive at where you want to go. And so I think at the end of the day, if you like the team you're working with, you're going to spend a lot of time with them. So that's what you're betting on.
That's awesome. Talk a little bit more about the firm and what you do.
Sure. So reAlpha we're also a publicly traded company. So we're listed on NASDAQ under the ticker AIRE. But reAlpha, essentially our mission is to empower home buyers through technology. And what we're doing is we've assembled a end-to-end real estate home buying platform. So what that means is we've done several acquisitions in both the brokerage, the mortgage, and the title space. And the goal is to basically have it so that a person can come onto our platform and feel like they're interacting with one person the entire time. Whereas typically you're bouncing around in between up to 14 different people trying to get a home buying transaction done in between your real estate agent, your brokers, the sell side broker, the inspector, et cetera. Right. And so what we've done is we've assembled it all in one place and then layered AI on top of it. So we've created a home buying concierge. We call it Claire. And because it's all in one place and helped out with AI, we take some of the savings that we're able to generate and give it straight back to the buyer. So we'll take some of that buy-side commission that we otherwise would make and give it back to the buyer so that they can use it for really anything that they want. But I think the most clever way to use it is to get lower interest rates on your mortgage than you would be able to get anywhere else.
What's been the response from the market? Because this is sounds great first off, and it's a different model. You don't hear everybody talking about this daily, right? People trying to get back into the cycle and add value in different ways. I'm just curious, what's been the response?
Yeah, so funnily enough, early on we were offering a fully commission-free model. And
interesting.
The initial reaction, it was too good to be true, right?
Yeah, that sounds like
so
it.
People are like, okay, what's the catch, et cetera. So that didn't catch on. And so now we're on this rebate model. And surprisingly, the audience that has kind of resonated with the most would be veteran community, because due to the nature of veteran loans, they are a little bit more restrictive about where you can buy, when you can buy, and price ranges you can buy, and that sort of thing. And from what we've seen for some of our home buyers is this product and that rebate commission, or that commission rebate, is actually the difference in between them getting a veteran loan versus a normal loan in a home they actually like. So it's really resonated with that crowd so far. And, we're still early stages, I would say, with the product, but it's taking off pretty quickly. So.
So who would you say in terms of in the market right now, what's your sweet spot in terms of the type of client that gets the most value out of working with your team? What have you found it to be, or niche?
I would say that, I'd mentioned the veterans again, but
yep, I got that.
I would say kind of your mid-range and high-range homes. So you're talking like in the averages of most states across the U.S., it's anywhere between, I think the average is 430,000 right now across the U.S., which is very high, but in that kind of range of 350 to 500,000. And typically kind of your second-time home buyers are ones really resonating, as well as actually the more luxury homes. You would think that they would gravitate more towards white glove service and things like that. But in reality, most of these people have bought homes before and they're like, we don't need that much level of service and we shouldn't pay 3% for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Or when you're on the buy side, right, you typically don't necessarily, you quote unquote, do not pay the buyer's commission. So, they're like, hey, we want that percent and give it back to us, right? So.
Yeah. No, I can see that. And I can see, like, for the savvy individual where they're like, yeah, we got this, we understand, but we still need help and we understand the value of the, the representation. They're like, of course I'm going to do, you know what I mean? I feel like the repeat business would be pretty, obviously the amount of real estate transactions could vary depending on who it is, right? Obviously, but I feel like the case for repeat or client retention would be pretty high in that case.
Exactly.
Yeah. Talk to me about the plans for the future, like how you continue to grow this as VP of strategy. I mean, talk to me about the plans for the future and how you continue to grow, build market awareness, and really tell the world about this.
Sure. I mean, it's a combination of a few things. So, our main priority, I would say, for call it end of 2025 through 2026 is going to be, state expansion, right? So because we grew through acquisitions so heavily, certain products that we have are in more states than others. And so we'd like to kind of even up that disparity a little bit so that people can get the maximum benefit in those high value states, such as California, Texas, New York, Georgia, Virginia, North Carolina, the sort of high volume states. So that would be kind of the first thing. And then, really just making the experience better and better, right? Like I would like to get it, like I said early on, I'd like to get it to the point where it feels like you're just interacting with one person the entire time, which I think is easier said than done in the real estate space, just because there's so many stakeholders and, it may require rewriting the playbook a little bit, if you will, but I think it can be done with AI. So I think those are the two main things, but then you have, of course, corporate stuff on the back end, like raising capital and continuing to grow the stock price and that sort of thing.
This is great. Man, this has been a lot of fun having you on the show today. I'm excited to continue to watch the progress of this company. What's the best way for, obviously, a lot of investors, a lot of business owners, a lot of executives that listen to the show? How do people follow up? How do they connect with you and your team?
Sure. So best way to follow the company and the company's growth is just visit our website, reAlpha.com, REALPHA. And then you can follow for investors, you can follow our investor relations side of the business, which is ir.realpha.com. And then all of us, all of the management team and executives are open to connect on LinkedIn and take meetings, whether virtually or in person. And so I'd invite you to connect with us on LinkedIn as well.
Amazing. And the ticker again?
Yes, AIRE. And we're listed on NASDAQ. Stands for AI for real estate.
Fantastic. For everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And it really has been a pleasure. Thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.